Hey guys, this is Black Woman 7 here, and today we're going to be going over our PFA semifinals matchup, or not semifinals, or quarterfinals matchup here, as we're up against Epiclolz. So basically, we have a finals matchup in a quarterfinals matchup. So, especially the one from last year, and another several seasons before that, so I didn't expect to battle Epic this early in the playoffs, but here we are. We did manage to get a bye for like the for the first round. So for this round, I would have to anticipate on battling either Epic and or I believe Spice, but it turns out I was going to be battle Epic after all. So yeah. So anyways, Epic has a very interesting team with Excadrill, Porygon2, Celebi, Charizard X, Blastoise, and Drapion. So outside of the, well, I guess you could say the red Pokemon Red and Blue core right there, the OG is right there. Then, well, then again, he has a Fire, Water, Grass core right there. So, um, well, right off the bat, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, he has no Thundurus, he has no Sand, and he has no Shedinja, so that's good. And that's really good that he doesn't have Shedinja, because that could have been a little annoying. Floette is also another Pokemon that I anticipate he would bring, as well as Thundurus, but he doesn't bring those two either, so that's huge. But he does bring the Drapion, which kind of puts half my strategy in question, and I'm already like, man, this is already gonna be one of those games. So I'm wondering whether Epic has T-Spikes and whether this Excadrill is really offensive in this situation. Because last time he brought AV, I'm kind of worried that he might even bring something really weird, yet effective, like, I don't know, like a Choice Band set. Like, Choice Band Drill can actually two-shot my entire team, and especially Suicune on a good damage roll. So, um, that's pretty much all I have to say. So in terms of leads, I guess I could explain my team once more. I have Scarf Chomp. I have a defensive Nidoking with Hazards. Um, Roar Suicune with CM sub. Gallade, that's bulk up. Blissey and Sylveon have both Wish, but Sylveon has Reflect and Blissey has Toxic. So yeah. So let's get right into it. So in terms of his matchup, I'm already like thinking to myself, well, Gallade is a good matchup or lead against everything on this team, with the exception of maybe Charizard X. Because Charizard X is probably the one thing that could outmuscle Gallade, in my opinion. So I'm pretty forced to go into my Gallade here. So as you'll see, I'm gonna go to my Blue Knight as he goes to Suicune, which is not Suicune, that's Blastoise. So I'm already like, alright, we're already playing these type of games, Epic, so. But either way, this is a very interesting call, her turn, because I could switch out to one of my clerics or even Suicune itself, the real Suicune, or he could or I could just go for knockoff and just remove whatever item this thing has. And I chose the latter because, you know what, I'd rather know what this thing is doing. And if he switches out, like, goes to Cliff to, like, maybe Celebi, even Charizard will get chipped down really well because he's not Mega Dip. So he goes for that. I remove the leftovers, he goes for Scald, and I get the burn on Gallade, and I'm like, already this is gonna be a fun game. I could already tell this. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to switch out to Sylveon, but he's gonna play it He's gonna play it out of this, and at this point, I have to heal Bill because this is already not a good start in terms of status. But you know, I took that risk. Either way, he's gonna go for Drill as I have to heal Bill at this point. I can't because at this point I can't let Gallade be useless for the rest of this game. So, here I'm just gonna go for Suicune as he's just gonna go for his rocks. So he's not AV. That's thankful to know. But this thing could also be whatever. Maybe like the fact that he has rocks implies that he's more of a defense, maybe like a lead set drill, or more likely than not, maybe semi-defensive. especially defensive. I don't know. So, but anyways, I have my Suicune out as I'm just gonna go for Surf as he goes to Celebi. Now, unfortunately, this is one situation where I wish I could have doubled out to Nidokings or even Sylveon, but honestly, there's not much I could do because at this point, I kind of have to scout out Celebi's moveset, and I have to play around the fact that this thing might have Nasty Plot or Calm Mind because that set could actually just tear apart this team. So here I'm gonna have to switch out the Blissey or not Blue, as he goes for U-turn and he goes to Charizard. So this is sort of a mixed result. So with the one hand, he has U-turn, so that's very likely not set up. So that's thankful to know. But on the other hand, he gets into Charizard, and I'm like, well, this whole game comes down to whether I land a Toxic. So here I'm just gonna go for a Toxic as he goes for Dragon Claw, probably predicting my Suicune as I go for Toxic. I think he didn't go for Blood Blitz because obviously he would have just gotten recoiled damage a ton. So here I'm just gonna go for Suicune as he's likely gonna go for Flare Blitz as he does. He gets some good chip on me, but it's whatever as I'm gonna go for Leftovers recovery. So here he's gonna go to Blastoise as I'm just gonna make a double to Sylveon. And the reason why I make this double is because I kind of anticipated him going for Celebi, and I kind of wanted to get Sylveon to set up like my screens or my Reflect Up in case I ever get in my Gallade or my Blissey. Like the idea is to try to get Blissey back to full health or Gallade to set up, so it's one of the two. Here he goes for the Mirror Code, so it's very good to know that this thing has something for me for my special offense. So, especially if I'm able to get like, let's say like Toxic on the Blastoise, that could be really nice. Here he goes to Celebi, as I'm gonna go for Heal Bell, and I'm probably gonna get back to full. So at this point, it's very likely we're gonna know Celebi's entire move coverage. The fact that he just switched this in here implies that he may have some weird stuff. Maybe like Toxic, or in this case, Leech Seed. So I go for Hyper Voice to gauge the damage, as he is semi bulky, with HP. So I could tell from the range he has at. So here he's just gonna go with Leftovers and with Leech Seed. He has Giga Drain, so he's gonna just keep recovering off. So it's gonna be sort of an annoying set, sort of like an annoying, Leech Seed set. But either way, I'm still okay with the situation because as long as I'm able to, like at this point, I'm like thinking to myself, okay, I gotta get Sylveon healthy, and at some point try to get it in on like this next turn. I want to try to get in Blissey, so that way I have at least one guaranteed turn of Reflect. So here I'm gonna go to Blissey, but he actually calls this and goes for the U-turn and goes to Drill. And actually, this whole game comes down to, well, not whole game, but this turn comes down to whether he gets a damage roll or not. So I forgot the exact damage roll, but Excadrill has a slight chance to kill me if he's adamant. And but the thing is, I do have the Reflect Up, so this should help me out. So he's gonna go for the Earthquake, as I do go for the Soft Boil, and I live the hit. So thankfully, we're able to recover up to full. So unfortunately, he's gonna go for the Sub, as I do reveal the Wish option, and I'm gonna go to Suicune to heal up. But the fact that he revealed Sub implies that he has Sub SD, so at this point I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a threat. So thankfully I do have Roar on Suicune, so at least we could deal with this. And with Roar, I'm able to get Blastoise out. And I don't think he wanted to get Blastoise in this situation at all, so here I'm just going to go for Blissey, as he's just going to go for the Toxic. So at this point, I'm just going to go for a Wish again, as he goes for the Drapion, and I'm just going to go for Suicune. And at this point, it's kind of infuriating to me that I don't have Hazards up at all, even with Rocks. I need to get up like Rocks right now, because otherwise this could be a very huge problem for me. So because at this point my team got chipped down already with basically well, Well, basically, Suicune's gonna get chipped. It's gonna get chipped even more with the incoming attack. The Sylveon, Blissey, and my Mega is already like gone at least 10% or 20% each. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I gotta roar this out because I can't let Drapion sweep me. So he goes to Celebi, and I'm like, okay, all right, fun time's over. And I'm like, looking at his moveset, he's like, he has U-turn, Leech Seed, Giga Drain. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna risk him being either I'm gonna risk it right here. Just go for have him go for Giga Drain, and I'm just gonna go for rocks here. For you, and even if he does U-turn, like I would have able to I would have been able to live the hits from Psychic. So the idea was to get rocks up, basically. And he goes to Porygon as I go for my rocks. Now, this turn comes down to this is a very weird turn because on the one hand, I really wish I had Toxic on this Nidoqueen because this would have been the ideal situation to go for it. But on the other hand, I'm kind of forced to switch out to either Sylveon or Gallade. But in this situation, I thought, you know what? Since I do have Toxic on my Blissey, I might as well go for it there. So I go for Blissey, as he does reveal the Curse. And this is the one set that I kind of feared him having. So at this point, I'm like, okay. It depends on what his normal coverage is, whether it's Facade or Return. So he's going to kill me either way with Facade. So if it's Return, then I can at least tall him out a little bit. So it also comes down to whether or not he has, you know, Sleep Talk, Rest Talk. So that could also be a very huge problem. So at this point, I'm just going to go for Toxic, as he's going to knock me out. And this actually is very beneficial for me because I'm able to get a free switch in into Sylveon. And basically speaking, I can now set up a Reflect for my entire team. So yeah, I'm basically sacking my my Reflect Core, well, not my Reflect Core, but my Wish Core. But at the same time, this is allowing me to set up for basically my Gallade, because at this point in the game, most of his team is chipped down. I know like Celebi doesn't have the Tanga Berry. P2 depends on what his P2 set is. Jill can just die to Drain Punch. Charizard's already weakened, and Blastoise and Drapion are like pretty much the big unknowns. So here, I'm just gonna go for the Reflect, as he's gonna go for Facade, and he's gonna get chipped down. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for damage, as I go for the he goes for the Facade. As now I go to Gallade, and here I decide, you know, I'm gonna go for Bulk Up, because even if he switches into, let's say, Celebi, I still want to ensure that I have a +1 defense and +1 attack, so that way if Jill is scarfed, like, I could take the hit. Of course, if he crits me, that could be that could be terrible, so yeah. So at this point, he goes to Blastoise, as I go for a Bulk Up. It also depends on the coverage on this, or the EV spread on this Blastoise, and also whether he gets a burn on me, so yeah. At this point, I'm just gonna go for the Drain Punch, and just recover off the damage. And he goes to Celebi, and at this point, I just kill him with the X-Scissor. And as now his entire team is very much within range of Chomp. Of course, like at this point, Chomp can just go in, but it depends on what his P2 set is, or if I can get rid of P2. So, here he goes to Drapion, and I'm just gonna go for Drain Punch, as he is somewhat bulky with HP. And he gets the Berry, and he goes for the Poison Jab, and he actually poisoned me. But as you can see, the Reflect plus Bulk Up defense raise is helping me. So now I'm basically back to near full, or 88, and basically at this point he goes for Porygon2, and well, and I will say this: at this point, I know I win this game, because even if I don't, like, first of all, I have to go for Drain Punch for recovery, because I want to ensure that Drill, I'm at like pretty much at 88%, you know, after poison, because like I know that Drill's gonna be annoying, and also this is my last turn of Reflect. Also, if I knock out this Porygon, I know that Chomp can win this game provided that drill doesn't have something weird. So, um, so I'm just gonna go for Drain Punch and knock this Porygon out, and he goes for Excadrill, and I'm not too worried because you'll see here he is scarfed, but I'm able to knock him out. So, like I said, like having Chomp in the back would be very nice here. So, and at this point, his last Pokemon is Charizard, and he's not even set up anyway, so he's just pinned down, and I two-shot him anyways. And we win the game, so yeah. That is basically like a pretty much a 6-0 sweep. So, basically, like, just looking at just like thinking about this game, I thought this was going to be one of those matchups where I wouldn't be able to get up my T-Spikes at all. And I had to get rid of like the Blastoise, or not the Blastoise. Well, yeah, it would have been very difficult to do so because, you know, like Excadrill, Blastoise, and Drapion would have been annoying as hell to deal with. So yeah, that was very much. I don't know if bringing T-Spikes was a good call here, but whatever, because we were able to win this game. I think bringing the Reflect just proved dividends for us because it allowed Sylveon to support the rest of our team, like getting Blissey healthy, getting Gallade to set up. That just helped facilitate the rest of my team. And yeah, I'll admit Epic brought some very good sets, like for instance, the Scarf Drill, Cursed P2, SD Sub SD Drapion with Berry, and Miracle Blastoise, and the more annoying Celebi sets. So he actually could have came out on top. It would have like I think in this situation it just came down to like positioning in a way, because like basically he gave me a free switch in to Sylveon, which I knew that I would outspeed the P2, and I could just set up a Reflect, and from there I could just get chip damage with, like, you know, Hyper Voice as he goes for the attack and knocks me out. Obviously, if he had rested there, it would have been a little bit annoying because that could have like proved like very much annoying, and I would have been forced to go into my Suicune and try to like roar him out. But at the same time, that would have put me in a very weird situation where Celebi could have just knocked me out then and there. So, but yeah, him getting me to switch out to Gallade. I'm just pressuring the rest of my team. I pretty much pressured the rest of his team with the bulk up plus Reflect. So, and the only way he could have beaten me was if he just went to Drill and just ult for the crit. But instead, I was able to get rid of Blastoise, Drapion, Celebi, and Porygon2. And by then, that was like, once I got rid of those four, especially Porygon2 and Celebi, I knew that Chomp would just go in. Like, I still have a healthy Chomp and even a healthy Nidoking in the back to deal with most of his squad. So yeah. So, all in all, I think I planned this game very well in terms of like how I wanted to win and to get Gallade set up and whatnot. So, won't discount my opponent though. I think he played very well in the beginning and the middle. I just had to make very those double switch-ins like with Nidoking and Sylveon, just to get back into the game. And if I haven't done that, I think he would have won this game. So, anyways, GG's to Epic as we advance to semifinals or PFA, and we're facing off against another familiar opponent. Like, I mean, we're going reverse now. If we think about it, we're battling Epic, then we're battling Connor, and there might be a chance that we might battle a certain person if it would be like inverse of what I battled like last time. So yeah. Anyways, that's all. Anyways, I'm just gonna be going. So, see ya.